What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Come On Get Happy Hour. We got a good one lined up for y'all. I'm kicking some old school the way we do it here in the double wide. Got a little Facebook teaser. So Facebook, the real show is tomorrow night, 6 p.m., I believe, Pacific time. We got some kick-ass guests this week. And the spirit word is good time. Spirit means we're not going to do D-R-I-N-K anymore because we get a little trouble, algorithms. So we got a great top 10 list for you. We're about to kick it here in just a second. We're recording over here on Zoom with my homie up in Canada, my partner in crime, the brains behind the operation, Miss Judy Sketch Lewinson.
Hello, hello, hello. How y'all doing?
What's that, Sketch?
Oh, it's all good in the hood, or so I heard. I live in the suburbs, so,
Just like we did last week. I know you had a rough week, but, you jumped in the double wide. And
yeah, man, just focus on the fun. That's the thing. If you're feeling down, number one rule, come on, get happy.
Come on, get happy, y'all. Stevie D don't watch any news. And, that's the key right there. Ignorance is bliss. So let the world do what it do, and we'll have our own little world right here having a party.
And I'll just tell you about the important stuff. So far, we're good.
All right, everybody's good. You know how we rock the top 10 list.
Yeah, what's up this week? What we got going on?
Well, this week was the fun one because I meant to watch the new Coming to America Part 2.
Okay.
That was my goal, and I'm like, shit, Coming to America was one of the funniest movies of all time. But then I was getting mixed reviews. I was like,
don't listen to that. Just do your own thing. Do your own thing. Have I seen it? I haven't watched it yet, but I've heard both. But I'm always just like, I make up my own mind. I don't follow the crowd or nothing.
I got some homies in it. Leslie Jones is a friend of mine. I see her in the trailer, and so I'm like, well, what if I don't like it? I don't want to diss the movie. So it just got me thinking, what was the greatest movies of all time? And everyone's partial to their own sense of humor, their own sensibilities. You like toilet humor, you like whatever. Porky's showed up a few times. I'm like, Porky's when I was 16. I got to see some boobs and some stuff I wasn't supposed to see. But and then I started looking at different lists, and then I like, let me do this. Let me put it on Facebook, which I did. And Facebook, all my homies chimed in. And Sketch, I did something I've never done before. You know what that was?
Did you write down the list?
I was honest. I didn't even put smoking.
Yay, Stevie. You're right.
Nothing about Trans Ams, nothing about Burt Reynolds. I'm like, that probably is the greatest comedy of all time, but we'll call it a car movie. We're just going to say that was a damn badass car movie.
Okay.
So I want to get to the guests real quick. You don't even know. Last night it took me like an hour. I wrote down every one. I did like when you're in jail, how many scratches on the wall? 1, 2, 3, 5. 1, 2, 3.
Right.
So I have an honest, according to my Facebook friends, top 10 greatest comedies of all time. But before we get to that, most importantly, what was your number one favorite comedy of all time, Sketch?
Favorite comedy? I have too many. But as a kid, I loved all the Ernest Goes movies, like Ernest Goes to Camp and all that kind of stuff, because it's just
for listening, and they actually heard you say that out loud.
It's mischief. Anything with mischief. I'm like,
that was all right.
I like anything with pranks. I was like, I don't know, 7.
It was hard to do 10 because there was like 25. I'm like, okay, legit.
Laugh out
I'm like,
loud.
shit, how am I going to narrow this to 10? And then I go, okay, my favorite. Sketch, you get one.
Oh, you know what I like? I like all the Revenge of the Nerds when I was a kid. Police Academies, right. Naked Guns.
All right.
Those type
like
of movies.
The corny. It's the corny but funny.
Well,
shit.
I like a lot of British movies too, but people probably don't know them. So.
Well, they know the ones that,
Anything. Monty Python is my favorite of anything. So.
All right. Yeah, that's on the list. I think it better be.
Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition.
Yeah. Bring out your dead.
Spam.
Merely a flesh wound. When I'm fighting with my kids, they like hit me. I'm like, merely a flesh wound. Yeah. Come on, you don't have an arm.
You're right. Right.
All right. So that's on the list, but I have it tied with the comedy that I guess it's a comedy. It's more quirky. I saw it in an artsy Lemley theater, but we'll say it was a comedy. But anyway, we're going to say That's definitely on the list for a tie. Okay.
All right. Well, let's get the list then. I'm gonna start that drum roll and let's get to it.
This is when the editing comes in, when the fancy stuff that Sketch does comes in, the drum roll. So number 10 on Stevie D's list, not my list, actually it's Facebook list. And according to my friends, I did an honest list this week. Number 10 is Anchorman. Anchorman.
Okay, yeah, that was funny.
Afternoon Delight, that horrible song. Looking for a little afternoon delight. They sing that in that movie. Number 9, a movie my dad took me to see, Steve Martin's The Jerk.
Okay, yep.
You don't know shit from Shinola. Number 8, again, I'm not sure this was a comedy or just a teen hell-raising movie, Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Okay.
You consider that a comedy?
I was too little when it came out.
All right, it's good. It's good. It's all good. All right, number 7, one of the greatest comedies of all time, my opinion, Animal House.
Okay, yeah, I've heard about that one, yeah.
Number 6, Dumb and Dumber.
Okay.
Not the Dumber and Dumberest or whatever the second is. No. Number 5 was the tie. This is a tough one. Okay. So Napoleon Dynamite.
Oh, was that a comedy though? Or was
I know, it's quirky, right?
Like, it's a really good movie. Yeah.
I remember in the theater, I went with a mutual friend of ours, and she and I were only ones laughing our ass off, and everyone else like, this is weird. What are you going to do today, Napoleon? Whatever I feel like it.
Yeah.
The funny shit. So I put the Holy Grail with Napoleon Dynamite number 5.
Okay.
My vote would be Holy Grail. That's a solid comedy.
Yeah.
Number 4, Young Frankenstein.
Okay.
Awesome. Number 3, Caddyshack, Bill Murray. Number 3, Caddyshack, Bill Murray. Number 2, this one could have been number 1, I think. Blazing Saddles.
Okay.
And number 1, according to my Facebook homies, Eddie Murphy, Trading Places.
Trading Places was funny. Trading Places is funny.
Coming to America, maybe number 11 on the list, I would say.
Do you know what I'm going to give an honorable mention to?
What?
My friend Michael Jai White's Black Dynamite. It is a spoof.
I didn't see it, but I'm writing
it's a spoof of all blaxploitation films. If you haven't seen it, I cried laughing. And I very rarely cry laughing. Like, I lost it. The whole thing is hilarious.
That was like the Eddie Griffin. What was the one where he was like a...
Yeah, everyone's in there. Arsenio Hall's in there. Everybody. But it's really fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
Respect. Was Arsenio Hall in... No, he's too young. Kentucky Fried Movie. You ever see that?
No, I didn't see that.
It was a precursor to Airplane, the same guys. But Airplane should have been maybe number 12 on the list. Oh, that was funny. That was funny shit. Nice. All right, Facebook, if you're watching, the show will air tomorrow night on Stevie D and his So-Called Friends page, and on YouTube as well, 5 p.m. Pacific time. So I'm not going to keep Facebook on the whole time. I just want to put that list there because they're the ones that voted.
Right. Ooh, I got another one for the list. It's a random one. Girls Trip with Queen Latifah.
Is that good?
And Tiffany Haddish. Yes.
All right. Tiffany's my homie. All right. So Facebook, we'll see you tomorrow night. What's up, Carla Riney? What's up, Donna?
Facebook. Thanks for joining us. See you tomorrow.
Facebook. We just jumped on here for a second. We may pop back in a minute. We might do that. So stick around Facebook. If you see me live, jump back on. We're recording on Zoom. This will air tomorrow night at 5 p.m.
Yeah.
Come on, get happy hour. All right, y'all. Cool. It's all about the good times. That means take a spirit. Ready to go, Sketch?
I am ready. Are you ready?
All right, Facebook, peace.
Who do we got coming up first?
So we got a killer lineup. You know, we've been doing 2 guests, but there was a special week. Barrett Jackson, the Top Car Auctions. You know, I love me some hot rods and muscle cars and custom cars. So we got one of our regulars back on. We got 2 of my buddies. They both been on before. They're both outstanding comedians, actors. And without further ado, we're going to bring the first one up. Handsome SOB right there. His name is Mr. Jamie Kaler.
Yeah.
Actor, podcaster, comedian. All right, y'all. Coming up next is I guess first, not next. All right, next. It's been a long day. Is a good buddy of mine. Back in the day, we've done comedy gigs many times. He went on to be a famous actor and changed his number, but I found him. And we got him here in the double wide for you tonight. He's an actor, podcaster, comedian. he's got a couple of podcasts. He's got one on Tuesday nights. I'm not sure what the letters meant. He's going to explain that one for me, but it's all good. Give it up for my man, Jamie Kaler.
Steve D in the house.
We're at capacity tonight. We're 25% full capacity in the double wide.
I love it. Listen, man, honestly, I will come into the double wide. I'll slide into your double wide anytime.
Hey, look out.
And I might even need a place to stay at some point because, I got those 2 lunatic children. And honestly, some nights I'm like, you might get a call at like 2 a.m. and go, dude, I'm at your front door. Let me in.
just knock on the double wide. But you're super dad though, buddy. I see you all the time. Your hands on.
Dude, you're my role model. As far as the dadding goes, you are
That's
totally
scary.
my role model.
That's scary. I'm the one that picks up the kids in the Trans Am with the T-tops off and like,
dude, can you pick up my kids? I would love you to pick up my kids, but I'm still homeschooling. I homeschooled them today. They're on. This is how much I love you. I just threw my kids on the iPads. I was like, yeah. Normally they don't. I'm like, let's go outside. Let's do something constructive. But I'm like, I don't have time. Get on your iPad. And so they're just basically like Matrix. They're in the pod, like trying to get out because they are.
And you have to say everything 5 times for them to hear you. Dinner's ready. Dinner's ready. Hey guys, dinner's ready. And then what? I'm hungry.
Then I just take it and throw it in the trash and go, no more dinner. No more dinner.
You're not eating for 2 days.
Yeah, that's how I feel sometimes.
In the beginning, once you're like riding bikes and just going around the neighborhood and you're like, you know what, here's an iPad.
You gotta do what you gotta do, brother. You gotta do it.
My kids just started back. My daughter started back. She goes like 2.5 hours a day. So I'm like soccer mom. I'm taking her, dropping it, picking her up, coming. And then my son started.
That's such a limited time. My friends are doing that. It's like they have a 3-hour window. And I was like, what's the point? Then you got to get them dressed. You got to do all this stuff to get them there for 2.5 hours. You're like, Jesus, man.
Yeah.
My kids were back in school for the whole day for 1 week. Then kindergarten was in for 3 straight weeks. Then my daughter's on 1 week on, 1 week off. But this week is a short week. So they said, everybody stay home. Next week, spring break. And then the week after spring break, nobody's going to school because they're afraid everyone's going to travel and bring it back. So everyone's, it's kind of a quarantine period going on. So I'm looking at 3 weeks of homeschool, my brother.
3 weeks. Are you guys doing anything for spring break?
We might try to shoot out to Palm Springs for like a day or 2, but that's literally it. Yeah. I mean, we're going to be hanging in the yard doing nothing.
I was trying to trick my kids and like, no one's doing anything. We're not, we can't take, I wish we could travel. Cause I was looking at Orlando and they're like, no, Dad, everybody all of our friends are going, don't talk to those people. They're dangerous.
I loved at Christmas. It was my favorite. Like every other year you talk to people and you're like, hey, what are you doing over Christmas? People are like, ugh, I got to go back with the family. We're heading back to like Montana. We're heading back to Minnesota. Every year it's like miserable. Like, ugh, sucks. We're going back for like 10 days. Too much brutal. This year, the government basically said, you have an excuse. You don't have to travel anywhere. And everyone's like, what are you talking about? I have to go home for Christmas.
This was the year.
You're like, dude, make up your mind. Are you pissed you're going home? Or what are you doing?
You get a pass. You got one hall pass.
Dude, I always say before I was even married, my family did Christmas in January. Like I would remember when I bartended? Yeah. I go, this is stupid. I can make a lot of money over Christmas. The bar's dead in January.
Yeah.
Flights are ridiculously expensive. So my family, we would just do Christmas the second weekend of, I guess it was like Festivus with Costanza. It was like the second weekend of January. We'd all fly home because it was dirt cheap.
Yeah.
And everything was empty and the airports were empty and it was great. And we flew home and did Christmas in January.
Yeah. My mom said, I'm going to leave the tree up until you can bring the kids home. We're supposed to go back in July to Kentucky. I'm like, Mom, you don't have to do that, really. You're perpetuating the stereotype of the Christmas light, because then you're 7 months into the new year. Why take it down? It's you're on the other side of the curve. You're leaning towards Christmas again.
Then now you're just creating work for yourself by taking them down. You got to put them back up within a month or 2. So what's the point? Just at that point, they stay up all the time.
Last summer, I gave my kids one Christmas week where we watched, all the Christmas movies. We watched Elf and we watched Home Alone and then so I'm like, okay, that's Christmas in July. No more Christmas until the real Christmas. I'm just trying to boost morale.
Yeah, that's my wife. She's like, she always wants to watch Love Actually. I go, you get once a year. Once a year, Christmas. That's it. When I'm watching Love Actually all the time. That's it. Devil Wears Prada. That's it. We're not watching it all the time. It's not happening. Yeah.
Looks like you cleaned up your act a little bit, buddy. You ready for?
Dude, I'm trying to get some acting work. So, and also I've been shooting. So I did Tacoma FD, and I did An American Housewife, and I also did this crazy drama film with Shannon Doherty and Kelly Hu called Breast Cancer Bucket List. That was really like heartwarming. It was really funny, Stevie,
Really?
because I'm a comedy guy, right? And so I booked this crazy drama, and I go to shoot it, and it's heavy. Like these two women, Shannon Doherty was such a great actress. I was shocked at how good they did. Like 100 takes over the day, and each take, tears just streaming down their face. I mean, obviously, crazy actresses. You'd never want to date someone like that. They can. Anyone who cries on cue,
that's
you don't
trouble.
You don't want to live with that person. That's crazy town.
Yeah.
But so I'm like in the scene, and and so they have to cut to me and one, and I'm kind of supposed to cry a little bit, like tear up and just be crying. And it was, I was like, wow, I'm a comic. Everybody knows I'm a comic at this point. Right? And so I hit it a couple times. I teared up, and then, she's like, all right, let's punch in. We'll get another one. I go, that was it. Did you get it?
That's my one time a year I can cry, acting or not acting.
That was it. That was my tear. Did we not get it on film? And she was like, you got one more in you. And I go, I don't know if I do, man. I don't know if I do. But it was super fun. And,
are you method? Did you have to like imagine your wife saying, we're going to my mother's again? And
yeah, it's exactly. You know what I imagine? I imagine homeschooling my kids and having to make another box of mac and cheese, and like I made today. And then the tears started streaming down my face. And I was like, oh yeah, there it is.
I mentioned you the other day. I'm working on a cooking show project. And I said, oh, my buddy Jamie Kaler does like the dad's cooking tip or something where you make like a cocktail.
We're showing that tonight on my show, TPL. Yeah, we're going to show
it. Yeah, what is TPL, buddy? I was not joking.
No, here's what happened. So I ended up like you, I did the Dadlands. Another buddy of mine does Dadpocalypse, this guy, Jason Gowan, who's great. And we kind of hooked up. And so we do the StreamYard show Tuesday nights at 6:30. And it streams live, so it's really you're on my guest list. You're coming. It's like tonight is literally tonight's the premiere. Tonight's
right on, buddy. Good luck.
6:30. It airs on Facebook, YouTube. It's on the Dadlands. It's on his Dadpocalypse. It's on Twitch. And so, have you seen StreamYard where you can? It's basically like The View. You can put all the panels in and stuff. So we're gonna have guests, but it's literally like it's the same as you do, where it's like. I just feel like so creative, and I want to do all these things, but we can't find this outlet. So I finally found this one outlet that's kind of crazy. Our guest tonight is Anson Williams, Potsy.
Oh, nice.
Rocky's on it. But you're coming. You're on my list of people coming.
All right, buddy. I love it.
It's also so TPL was basically the Parents Lounge. And
Parents Lounge. I like it.
Yeah, but like you, I don't want to do just all like parenting humor. Like it's for parents, but it covers everything. So tonight we're covering a bunch of stories. Like, did you see the 57-year-old woman had a baby in New Hampshire?
Was that recently?
This week. 57-year-old.
Like,
57-year-old. So here's what happens, dude.
Wow.
57-year-old woman, I post on it. Because I'm a dad. My whole act is about being an old dad. So I said, hey, listen, I'm a dad in my 50s with toddlers. I'm going to tell you right now, when that woman is 70 and that kid is 13, it's going to be really hard to get him out of bed to go to high school.
Yeah.
And people lit me up. They were like, who are you to rain on their parade?
Yeah.
Why are you picking on age? Well, it should be about love. And I go, dude, everybody relax. I'm a comic. I'm saying I love this story. It's very positive. But I'm telling you right now, if you
they came after you.
If you can't see that this woman is good, she better have help.
She's going to be 86 or whatever that math turns out to be.
She's going to be 60 with a 3-year-old. Think about that.
You can't do that.
For a second. And you're like, this is nuts. And so people they're like, I wanted to go like, yeah, you're the one just posting how great this is, but you're not the one who's going to have to, put this kid in diapers at the age of 58 years old. You're changing diapers. Something's,
they're going to be putting each other in diapers.
Yeah, it's exactly. There's the joke.
You do me first, and then
at least the positive is when the kid's 7 or 8, you can teach them to put you in diapers. Dude, there it is.
There you go, buddy. One of the most embarrassing things in my life, to sidetrack a little bit, but I'm glad you told me what the TPL is, because I actually texted you, and you're like, laugh emoji. I'm like, no, what? I don't.
No, I know.
We're back on your Facebook, and I was looking for it.
Amorphous, so nobody knows what it is.
But anyway, a little diaper story is, I had my little cancer thing like 10 years ago. I had to go home, and I had like catheters and tubes and things, and the nurse is going, oh, you might have to wear a diaper for it. I'm like, nah, I'd rather I'll pee on the floor. I don't care. I'm not, she's like, literally, we had a 3-month-old, my daughter was on, and she's telling my wife how to do this. Like a very embarrassing story, but I don't give a rat's ass because we're comedians. So the more embarrassing, the more I want to share with the world. But I'm looking at her like, we have a baby, and besides, I'm not even really going to wear this thing. So luckily, thank God, I didn't have any incontinuity or whatever it's called. I wasn't incontinent. It all worked. All the plumbing worked. But they're like, and I'm like, the type of cancer I had, the average age is 72. So I get where you're going by the,
right.
Okay, next, show them this. I'm like, that doesn't apply to me. So I still, talk about, I'm still an advocate for that type of cancer, but, since it didn't apply to me, the 72-year-old wearing a diaper guy that had cancer in that area, I'm just saying that we know how to put diapers on.
Yeah, no, it's honestly, I look
if
forward
I were
to
72, maybe my wife would need to help me, but.
Dude, all the times I got to get up every day and go pee, a diaper would save me hours. It would just save me hours. It's like that astronaut who wore the diaper on the drive across country or something, so she didn't. I mean, you never just get really drunk and peed in a closet or something?
Yeah. These music festivals, I'm not down with the music festivals. You and I are probably too old, but I hear people wear adult diapers to go to like, Burning Man or whatever.
I think it's genius. Yeah. I remember guys just pissing under the bar. I remember dudes like this guy was he didn't want to give up his spot at the bar, so he just whipped it out and pissed under the bar. And people caught him and were like, dude,
what's up?
Yeah.
I'm posted up. Jamie pours doubles. I'm not,
One night there was this dude and he kind of fell asleep on the bar, and he was totally unconscious at the end of the bar, sitting on a stool, blotto. And so the lights were on, everyone was leaving. He couldn't roust him. And so people were messing with him, and they tied his shoelaces to the bar stool to mess with him. And as they're tying it, he's still sitting there, and all of a sudden urine starts just pouring down the sides of the stool. And everyone's like, no! And we had to run to the kitchen and get a knife and cut the shoelaces so we could drag him out the front door and throw him on the sidewalk.
Good times, buddy. Yeah, I used to be a DJ back in the day, and I'd have to pee, and I was like up in like a bird's nest thing overlooking the dance floor. So I'd have to put on that long remix. I'm like, okay, this song's 12 minutes and go time, and have to make it back. Who let the dogs out? You got to the break. Okay, I got to cut it off and head back up the stairs.
I've seen those videos, man. I've seen those videos. And you were just shredded. You looked like Marky Mark in the underwear commercial, man.
Smoke and mirrors, baby. Smoke and mirrors.
Yeah.
That's before filters. I was just telling a photographer the other day I was like, what happened to Ray the Retoucher and all these guys that used to do the headshots, and you take it in to get your eyes little bling, bling, bling and white. I'm like, he's
out of work.
Push a button on a filter now.
That's it. Yeah.
All right, buddy. Thank you for dropping by. Good luck on TPL tonight.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate it. And anytime, I'm going to call you soon to come play with us.
Yeah, please do, man. Please do. TPL, the Parents Lounge, Tuesday night, y'all.
Yeah, come find me on the Dadlands or just at Jamie Kaler, and you'll find me.
One of my favorite dudes. All right, Jamie Kaler. Love you, buddy.
Love you, brother.
All right,
peace
man.
out.
See you, man. All right, y'all. I don't know if you're ready for this jelly, this handsome SOB right there. Look at all that sexiness. He's even got tattoos. Moved to Vegas and got tattoos on me. All right, I love this guy. He's got a new special coming out called Live from the Vegas Strip, I think. He'll correct me. He's in the movie Opening Act with my buddy Steve Byrne, who is in my movie, Rockstars of Comedy. And he's in Reagan with Dennis Quaid. And remind me to tell you the Dennis Quaid story. Give it up for my man, Butch Bradley.
Way, so it's live from Las Vegas.
Buddy, I got so much shit going on over. Look at this, multitasking. One-man band.
What's up, brother? Good to see you.
Good to see you, my man. What's going on behind you? Is that Freddie Mercury?
Yeah, Freddie Mercury. Yeah.
Recognize his belly button. There you go.
Yeah. Freddie Mercury. And then we got people talking in the background who are not going to talk anymore.
I like people. There's Janis Joplin.
And then we got Hendrix over here.
Nice. Got your watchdogs over there.
Yeah, they're in the other room yapping away. They don't care.
You take them on stage with you?
Yeah, no, it's my girl Carla. She's in the other room cooking her Carla salsa, which is incredible.
Nice.
And my buddy Billy, who's a comic, and he's in there yapping.
What's up, Billy?
But,
Come,
yeah,
you know, you're on stage. Of course, the other comics in the other room talking. No respect, brother.
Yeah.
Our buddy
so,
Mitch Mulaney at the Laugh Factory, he would stand by when I was on stage just to fuck with me, just to heckle me.
Yeah. He was genius comedian. I miss. It's funny because Ann Flagella is my manager, and guess who popped by? So I'm at LA Comedy Club inside the Strat 5 nights a week.
Your
10 o'clock show.
yes.
You're in Vegas. Come say hi. Hit me on Instagram. But Paula Bell popped by the other night.
Oh,
and,
okay.
yeah, and she's like, "Hey, can I do a spot?" Hadn't seen her in a minute. I knew she was a murderer. Still, you just know who the murderers are.
Yeah.
So I have
Mitch slapped the whole crowd.
I have the host, and then I put Paula up, and Paula goes up and annihilates from start to finish for 10 minutes. Like, I mean, wipes it like smoke and tinder. And while she's up, the feature who goes, "Hey, she should have went up after me." So I go, "Not switching it." I go, "I don't want to follow her either, dude."
Yeah. I know not to follow her.
Yeah, and he did a great job, but she decimated, dude. And now remember, it was only the host for 7 minutes, and then her. She decimated like she was in the cherry spot 3 or 4. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, like she wiped it. So it was really cool to see, and a little frightening. But I'm like, God, she's good.
Yeah.
But it was great, and gave me a little taste of the old factory days. And so things are good out here.
I just said something about Mitch a couple of days ago. I was on Instagram. Someone put a meme up, and it's like, when you wake up at 2 a.m., you think there's a swarm of bees outside your bedroom window, but it's 2 engines in their Honda Civics drag racing.
Yeah.
Like, that's Mitch Mulaney. That's a Mitch Mulaney joke. You better YouTube it, bitch. Like,
Right. Me.
Yeah, if you don't know, it's like, is that a mosquito?
Yeah,
that's a Civic.
Right.
Civic.
Is that a mosquito? No, that's so-and-so. It's Honda Civic. Right. Yeah, he changed his voice. Dude, he was a killer. Yeah, it's unbelievable.
He would just start out insulting the audience.
It's funny. Every now and then, I think about him, and I'll throw out a little, keep it going for the.
Yeah.
And give a little Mitch Mulaney love out to the universe. You know. Yeah. He was, dude. He every culture loved him. You know, and he was the only white dude from the hood who was real, who didn't have this like dramatic voice change in his life where he thought he had to like throw on this like hoodie thing. He was straight up tough Oakland dude, and was like just amazing. He was cool dude, man.
Yeah, he was fun to party with. We went out a lot, but he would always, I knew he was going to slap somebody before the night was over.
That was his thing, slapping.
That's like the most of this. I was standing next to him once, and there was a comic that I won't mention, but the comic had been on the road, and some waitress, and Mitch was messing with the waitress, so they called Mitch, and the comic was like, "Hey, I'll take care of her," for whatever. So he came back, and we're standing there, and Mitch is like, "Hey, you thought that was funny, huh? That was funny, like you punking me?" And so Mitch has his hands in his pocket, bam, slaps the shit out of the guy. The guy's glasses go flying. Mitch puts his hands back in his pocket.
He knows there's not a return punch coming.
The guy's like, "Wow," and I was like, "Whoa, Mitch, the police are gonna come. Let's go down the street."
He was a cool dude, man. He took care of me as soon as I got there.
And a killer, dude. He was.
Yeah, I call. He goes, "You're gonna need me." He goes, "I'm having a party tomorrow. I just got to Hollywood, totally broke, no car. I mean, broke beyond like real Hollywood broke." Yeah. I shared I'd get a coffee. I'd share a sandwich with a buddy who was a claymation artist. I mean, I was broke, dude, for real. Yeah, man. And so Mitch was on to me. He was on that I was really starving. Yeah. And he's like, "Bob, you're Bob Marley's buddy, right?" He's like, "You're gonna need me." I go, "I'm good." He goes, "You're not good. Stop."
You're not good.
He hands me a card, buys me a drink, and from Noel at the bar at Laugh Factory. We have a drink. Yeah. So I go home. He goes, tomorrow I'm having a party. I want you to come up to the hills. And I'm in my
Wrightwood house.
Yeah. And I'm in a little studio in Hollywood, broke. I wake up, it's like, day, and it's like 1 PM. I knew his party was going on. I stared at it. I call him. He's like, yo, what's up? I go, hey, this is Butch. He goes, cool, come on up, not a problem. And I sat quietly. He starts laughing. He goes, you don't have a fucking car, do you? And I go, no, I don't. He goes, where are you? I sent him my address, dude. And he goes, holy shit, man, you're living in the straight hood. He goes, I'll be right there. He left his party, drove down, picked me up, and took me to his house. I ate like I hadn't eaten in like years, hung out, all these celebrities there. It was incredible. I hung out like all night. He's like, dude, that back room, that's all you. Hang out late night. I was there. I don't think the dude could get rid of me. I was like,
Sunday he was going, Butch, I need you to just go home.
Butch, I gotta
freshen up a little
drive
bit.
you home. Yeah, it was cool. He's a cool dude, man.
I think Tiffany Haddish was like his assistant or something. I may be mistaken. I'm sorry if I am, Tiffany, but I'm pretty sure because Tiffany was just starting out, and I'd be at Mitch's house, and Tiffany would just be like his assistant or just like doing shit for him.
Yeah. But that's funny. I kind of remember something like that. She was really cool because I just did my special just aired for Amazon Prime, and they called me. All these people call me, and they're like, can you call, who do you know? And I'm like, I know people, but I don't want to bother them. They're like, well, we need some quotes.
We need you to bother them. Yeah.
We need you to bother them. So I did. I reached out to Tiffany Haddish, 2 minutes. I swear to God, her phone numbers. I talked to Godfrey in New York. He was just doing a show with her. And Kimberly Clark, who used to work at the Laugh Factory, who's on a stand-up show with Tiffany. And they're like, we reached out to her. Send me both her cell numbers.
Yeah.
I text her. 5 minutes later, she's like, oh my God, call me. I call. She's amazing. It's cool because, we knew her when she was young. She just sounds like a professional killer, sweet as pie though.
Yeah.
And she goes, Butch Bradley, you're the only white guy out there that turned me and my sister down. And and just like starts busting my chops. And she goes, what do you need? I go, I need a quote. And she sends my PR people this amazing quote about my comedy. And just cool. It was Tiffany.
She was awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Plus, she started at the comedy camp at the Laugh Factory there on Sunset. Amazing success story. I had to do the same thing on my book, Butch, where the publisher said, hey, you've got some, famous comedy friends. Can you reach out? We need quotes for the jacket. And
yeah.
I remember Ken Jeong, who was a friend of ours, from back in the day. Ken gave me a great quote for my book to use.
Killer.
But then his people said, oh, well, he can't, in case the book is offensive and you can say this and don't say that. I go, and he sent me a quote, but it couldn't endorse the book directly. It just said, Stevie's a great guy. He's so goddamn, he's funny and blah, blah, blah. And I go, I need you to say something about the book. But thank you, buddy. But he's like, I'm like, don't worry about it. So I still got the quote, but Aisha Tyler gave me a good quote. And so we used that.
Because I guess that's what I got. I got the quote.
Yes.
But she couldn't directly talk about the special. That's what I got.
Yes. That's what you get.
Just explained to me what I received.
And we can talk about that off the camera, but where he and I personally, and I'm going through this right now with a non-scripted show I created that's about to go, but it's the same thing as when the representative, the agent, and then the manager, and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, no, I just, like you're in the opening act with Steve Byrne, all right?
Yes.
So Steve Byrne, when I created Rockstars of Comedy, we were filming that concert movie.
Yeah.
Brian Callen, Sam Tripoli, Brett Ernst, Steve Byrne, Whitney Cummings, all friends of ours, said, I'm in. And I'm like, look, it's not favored nations. Everyone's getting the same. There's no headliner. You're all headliners. Yeah. We're just friends that are going to have a kick-ass comedy concert that's going to be filmed. I'm in. So then I got the verbal, I'm in, we're buddies. Boom. Then I had to talk to their people. Well, you can have domestic rights, not international rights. You can't have now. Like, the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
We're friends. We're not trying to, we're just friends. Whatever I get, we're cutting the pie evenly.
Yeah.
So anyway, brother, talk to me about congratulations on this is your first special?
Yes, it is. I've been on, the way the industry is, for those who don't know, I've been on a lot of things for X amount of minutes, but they don't, if they cut you off a little early, it's not a special, you did a spot, So, I burned a lot of material for people that were, I was like, man, that was a special. They're like, no. But this time, first special, Sean McNamara, the director of Soul Surfer, had popped into the comedy club to kill some time with a buddy, Eric Audet, who you might know is an actor out of Hollywood.
Sounds familiar,
He was in 3 years in Pakistan, a documentary story about how he was falsely accused of drug smuggling.
Wow, okay.
An amazing documentary. But he's out of Hollywood. I know you know this dude. And they popped in to just watch comedy. He loved me, Sean, and I ended up sitting with him the next day talking. And he's like, what do you need? I go, I need a special. And this giant Irish guy goes, then we're going to make a special. and he came out to Vegas and with Todd Fisher, Carrie Fisher's brother. Yeah. So crazy. And just this amazing group of people who love stand-up comics and are like, hey, this guy needs a special. Let's go give him a special. Yeah. I was like, where were you guys my whole career?
Yeah.
They loaded up the LA Comedy Club. LA Comedy Club said, take the room, Butch. They gave me the weekend. Wow. I shot 4 hours. They know that I do improvisational crowd work. They were like, he's like, we're going to wire the room. We're going to do this right. We don't want to, do you want a theater? I go, I want them to see a comedy club. Yeah. So we did it that way. We did 4 hours. I did a mixture of material and improvisation, and they chopped it in, and it's incredible. I got a big write-up in Variety. I've gotten like some major write-ups, shockingly, and some great heat, and really just an amazing group of people, and it's killer, dude. So he saw my improv, and then all of a sudden they're doing the movie Reagan, and there's a weird scene with Dennis Quaid, and they've got like 3 scenes. Yay, brother, there it is.
You and Dennis Quaid.
Yeah, that's so in that scene, he's Ronald Reagan, and I am one of the Continentals. So in 1954, Ronald Reagan's career stopped, and the Frontier Casino in Vegas said, come out and work for us for a while. We'll give you crazy money. And Nancy said, let's go, take a break from Hollywood. And he was with these 4 guys who do like waka 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 comedy. and I was I'm like the lead Continental, and they didn't, basically Sean McNamara was like, are you ready? I'm on this stage in front of like this gorgeous room. It looks like 1954. All of the extras look like the 1950s. It was mind-blowing. But then he looks at me and he goes, are you ready? I go, yeah, I got my line. I got my 9 words ready. And he goes, oh, no. He goes, the head writer's out of town. We're gonna do 3 scenes, plus you're gonna do a crowd work scene. I go, I need the lines, right? I'm like I'm scared, dude. Yeah. I'm like, I'm ready for my 9 words. He goes, no, you and Dennis are going to improv the 3 scenes. Dude, I just sat silently like a stand-up comic. I was like, don't let anyone know you're losing it. I nodded, but I felt nauseous. And I thought, if Dennis Quaid is cool, I can do this. I know I can do this. I do this 7 nights a week.
You want to have fun? Yeah. Yep.
Dennis Quaid comes walking in, and he's like, he yells my name. He goes, hey, Butch, did you hear Sean McNamara thinks we didn't need 2 weeks of rehearsal? And I was like, this guy's cool, man.
Cool as shit, yeah.
This guy's cool as shit. So I start laughing. All the extras are like, woo, Dennis is here. He comes up on stage, he nods his head, he leans over to me, and he goes, hey, do you think we got this? I was like, this dude is so cool, it's fucking nuts. I go, sir, I'll follow you wherever you go. I'm, pretty good with the improv. And he goes, then we got this, right? I was like, yeah. Like, he took my confidence level to like, I was like, I think I could fly, And dude, we had a blast. We riffed. He would lean over to me. He's like, hey, what do you think if I do this and that? I'm like, whatever you want me to do. Yeah. And we had it was really an incredible experience. I got to be on stage with them for like 3.5 hours, dude, with Pamela Ann Miller, who played Mrs. Reagan. I got to work the crowd. I Googled 50s lingo. I memorized a bunch of language from the 50s. I worked the crowd. I gave Mrs. Reagan some, heat. I played around, and dude, it was incredible. It was really cool. Mina Savaro was there. A bunch of killer actors and actresses. And thankfully, my big Hollywood debut was in our realm of safety. I'm still being comedian on stage. So it was cool.
That's your wheelhouse. That's your wheelhouse.
So my wheelhouse.
What was the hotel at the time? The Continental, you said? What was it called?
It was the Frontier Casino.
Frontier. And
they had the 4 Continentals who were like the waka, waka, waka.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, like over the top, like, meh, boop, boop. Dude.
I love that era. That's when, I think Elvis did the Frontier, I think was the first place in Vegas that he did first, like 56. Didn't go over so well because there's like people eating their steak because they're at the blackjack table and they got a free ticket for his steak. And this guy's up there. And by the way, I wore my King shirt for you tonight, brother.
Oh, that is killer, man.
I know you got a
Viva Las Vegas.
And this is a custom TCB custom necklace right here.
Oh, wow, killer.
Taking care of business, baby. Taking care of business.
Taking care of business. Yeah, Vegas is cool, man. I feel lucky to be here. It's sort of, everybody thought I was nuts, leaving Hollywood. And I went to Asia and did all that. And then I was in New York. And then landing the residency and then the Stratosphere dropped $250 million into the casino. And in the back of my head, I was like, this just might be working out. Yesterday it looked like a 1985 mall. And today we're competitive. And then all of a sudden things are going well. I'm getting buzz and, getting all the gigs are still happening. I'm getting called for auditions. And then COVID hits.
Yeah.
On top of having COVID twice, I did 2 movies and got a special. So I feel like it's all even somewhere. Yeah, right?
It all worked out, brother.
Taking care of business.
Taking care of business, man. I know, like Mike Young, I told him to contact you once, and he did.
Love him.
He came through. So we're going to have you back because I want to talk about Vegas and the Vegas shooting. You were there for that and all that shit. So we got to have you. We got to have you back around. But I just want to say congratulations on your special. Overdue,
Thank you,
brother.
Thank you. Love you, bud.
Love you, buddy. All right. Thanks for stopping by, man.
Thank you. Have a good
Butch
one.
Bradley, y'all. All right, everybody. That was great. Jamie Kaler. I think I tagged him with under Jamie Kennedy today, but Jamie. You got a Jamie with a K. What's the difference? They're both funny. And of course, my man Butch Bradley. Coming up next, he wasn't even scheduled until I saw where he was, and he's always there in the skybox with the VIP. I got to be his +1 next year. He just got back from Barrett-Jackson, which is like the most badass car auction of the whole year. He's going to talk about that. He's a BMX legend, podcaster, TV host, TV creator, designer. I'm getting exhausted. Hold on. And I'd say a friend of mine. He may disagree with that. My man, Brad Fanshaw. Did I say BMX legend, by the way?
Am I on?
You're on. Are you still at Barrett-Jackson?
What's going on, pal?
What's up, buddy?
I don't know if you know, but I'm reviving Pal.
I noticed that today in the text. You're like, okay, pal. Like, what is this, 1952?
I've been watching way too much of like $6 Million Man, Miami Vice, and what's the one? Squad 51, Emergency.
All of that.
Everything is Pal. And I've been using
it on
my
$6 Million Man action figure. And for some reason, Mattel, like G.I. Joe's, everything I think were what? 7.5 or whatever that, but he was just a little taller, which means he was a little more badass. So he was plus
bionic, man.
So the action figure was bionic, so he could take G.I. Joe and just throw him across the yard, obviously, with ease.
Yep. And he used
on a BMX bike.
So how's it going?
I'm good, buddy. You just got back from Barrett-Jackson, and tell everybody what Barrett-Jackson is.
Barrett-Jackson is a gigantic, huge classic car auction. Motorcycles, trucks, exotics, cars, hot rods, it's all there. They even do in the morning automobilia, so like big neon signs and gas pumps. And now this thing, it's huge. It's an event. And what's great about it is that even if you're not into buying cars, you can go there because it's like a carnival, and there is just this enthusiasm for watching people, like right there, right behind me.
I see it.
Little Cobra right there was Carol
here?
Shelby's personal car, and it sold for $5.5 million. And
That was Carol Shelby's personal car?
Yeah, he wanted the fastest car. He wanted the fastest car they could do. It's twin supercharged in that little aluminum body, and it was just wicked as hell. And they sold it for $5.5 million. But
Wow.
you know, not to be outdone though, you know, the comedians like you, Stevie, the guys
Yeah.
with all the change jiggling in their pockets.
Pretty sure my pockets are empty right now.
Kevin Hart was there with his Plastic Cup Boys, his car club, and they were not only shooting a new show for Discovery, but for Motor Trend TV, but they were hanging out, and he laid down for a '59 Corvette. Now, this Corvette was not run of the mill. It had a chassis, it had a late model motor, beautiful paint, interior, the whole deal. But he might have been getting some of those free drinks that they give away there, because you know why they do that, Stevie? They give away those free
Make it
drinks
generous.
so that guys will do this. And he laid down $825,000 for that Corvette. And you know what he gets to say now? I own a Corvette, and I set a world record buying it.
Really? That's the most expensive Corvette ever sold?
The most expensive '59 Corvette ever sold. Now, I'm going to tell you a little story.
So real quick,
You always love
sorry to
the rock
interrupt.
and roll stories.
Is this it?
That's the one. That's the one. It's like a mint green with like a buckskin tan interior. Beautiful car.
Beautiful.
And it's all late model running gear and everything. So it's going to ride and drive like a new car when he drives it. But you always like my rock star stories, so I'll tell you
I love the
one.
rock star stories.
Michael Anthony from Van Halen and I were there one year, and we went there together, and he had told me, Brad, I want to buy a Nomad, a '57 Nomad. For those of you who don't know what a Nomad is, it was a Chevrolet station wagon, but it only had 2 doors, and it had a sport roof on it. So it was really sporty, and they're really desired. Well, we were looking around, and he found one that caught his eye. It needed when I say a little bit of work, the average guy would be like, doesn't need anything. I'm going to drive it.
Yeah.
But for Mike, it's got to be absolutely perfect. So anyways, he had me look at it, and he goes, what do you think I should bid on it? I told him what I thought. And I said to him, I go, Mike, now look right here, man. Eyes on you. I said, when we hit that number, that's it. And I said, because that's what happens to guys here is they get into the enthusiasm. You're down on stage. Everybody's looking at you. And you go,
yeah,
go one more time.
Yeah.
Well, we
punk.
walk out on stage, and there's the car. Stevie, you know what happened. He starts bidding, and he looks at me, and I go, we're done. We're done.
Reel it in, Mike.
Yep. I turn around, start to walk away. I notice Mike's not walking with me. I go, Mike. I grab him by the shirt, and I go, Mike, come on. And he goes, whispers in my ear, he goes, I'm going to bid one more time. One more time. One more time became one more time, and one more time, and one more time. And when the hammer dropped, Mike won it. But they said the magic words that the seller loves to hear, but the buyer should never hear, which is, that is a world record for a '57 Nomad.
Really?
And I went, Mike, I told you.
Oh my
but
God.
he loves the car and still has it today.
He does? Those are beautiful.
Yeah,
you know, when I had a
still
Hot
has
Wheel collection as a kid, my Hot Wheels, the yellow Hot Wheel Nomad was my favorite Hot Wheel.
I remember that one. That was a cool one.
I think
mine was metallic blue. I had one like that, but it was metallic blue.
Yeah. And I think Hot Wheel even put like a little sunroof on it or something, if I'm not mistaken. But did you design a car that went to Hot Wheels?
Went to Hot Wheels? No, I was a judge.
Oh, that's right.
2 years ago, for their big Hot Wheels thing where they pick cars to be made into a Hot Wheel, and I was a judge on that.
Great. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I knew you had something to do with Hot Wheels because I see everything you're doing. I'm always jealous of everything you're doing. I'm like, you got Mad Mike Anthony with you. You don't take me as your +1.
Hey, man, maybe you can come sometime. You know, we're going to Vegas in June. They're doing a Barrett-Jackson in Vegas.
What was your favorite car at Barrett-Jackson this year?
Well, my favorite car at Barrett-Jackson was probably a 69 Camaro that was called a COPO, or called a COPO, which means it was a special order with this huge 427 motor, but everything else is stripped out of it. No heater, no radio. It was a race car for the street, and they're really hard to find. And a silver one with a black vinyl top went across, and it was a steal at only $165,000.
I know somebody that just bought a 69 in England that had been turned to a drag car, and he bought it for like 35, and he kept texting me. I think I may have texted you about it.
You did. You asked me about that. Yeah.
Yeah. I think you did. He ended up buying it. But what do you think about like something like this when someone slammed the Bronco?
I'll tell you, that was well built, very
beautiful.
nice. But I didn't dig the 6-cylinder Mustang motor that they put in it. And he would have got twice as much money for it if he would have gone the other way and raised it and put a V8 in it.
Yeah.
Because Broncos were going for huge money, Stevie. The average car sold at Barrett-Jackson this year was $99,620 and some change.
Wow. Did you see any Trans Ams up there?
There were some Trans Ams, and they went for over $100,000.
Ooh, gotta get those numbers. All right, I got a good investment in the garage. I'll tell my wife I don't know stock. I don't know stock, but I know stock cars.
Yeah. Well, you know what the thing is? You can buy stocks, you can buy everything, but you can't go out and enjoy them at the same time. You know, where a car, that's what people like them. They can enjoy them, and they, if they buy the right ones, they appreciate.
Yeah, we took the Trans Am to Agora Hills out by us on Sunday drive, went to lunch. We're coming back and I'm pumping the music. Usually people pull up and they're doing this or whatever. And someone pulls up and I didn't even turn the music down. I was so cocky. I'm like, thank you. And my wife's like tapping. She's like, that's my friend. I'm like, she goes, oh, hi. Let's have lunch. I'm like, hey. What about the car? So Kevin, I know Kevin Hart a little bit, like a few times through comedy. And so I see him at car shows and we talk for a minute. And so I saw him at a Cars and Coffee maybe a year ago. I don't know if I showed you this, but so I went up to Kevin and he had this is maybe 6 months after his accident. He was just getting back and he had a new Mustang Fastback and he was there showing it off and kind of had his handlers around like a perimeter. And I was like, hey, Kevin. So he came over and we talked for a minute. And I said, Kevin, we take a quick pic of my son. And he looked around and his boys were keeping people back, he's like, Stevie, if I do that, I don't want to start anything. If I do that, because I'll tell you what, walk back by in 5 minutes and act like you're taking a picture with your son and I'm going to photobomb the picture. I go, that's cool. Even way cooler. That's way cooler.
Yeah. It's like cooler to have him photobombing you. Nice.
So there's my son with Kevin Hart. And I posted like, don't you hate it when you're trying to take a picture of your son and some random dude in the back?
Some dude just like walks in the frame.
Really?
Brad Fanshaw, I love you, buddy. Thanks for dropping in with the Barrett-Jackson update. I can't wait to be your +1 next year.
Anytime, brother. Anytime. Anytime, pal.
All right, pal. All right, Cat. You're a cool cat there.
Anything else you want to know about Barrett-Jackson before I split?
I think that's it. So the Cobra was the $5 million car. Do you know if that was the most expensive car ever sold?
No, just at that auction that weekend.
Do you know what
the most expensive car ever sold in public, because there's a lot of private sales that don't get publicized, but would probably be a Ferrari GTO. and I believe it sold for $65 million.
Oof.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's not in my garage. I just want to say that. So, but just give you an idea, Barrett Jackson started on Wednesday, ended on Saturday, and they sold $105 million worth of cars.
Wow. Not too shabby.
Nope.
All right, buddy. I got to tweak the
it's a good
Trans Am
time.
a little bit, do a little touch-ups, and roll it in next year.
You should. You can see what you do. What you do is you buy a car there, like at the Vegas auction, and then you drive it, and then you sell it at the Scottsdale auction, and then you get a new one. So you're always changing that way. You could have so many Trans Ams, Stevie.
They have a rent-to-own program where I could buy and sell it, pay off the first one.
They've got
All right,
the
Brad
guys
Fanshaw.
there. They'll easy financing right there on the spot.
I bet it is.
All right.
I bet it is. All right, buddy. Next time, I expect a cocktail next time.
I will have one for you.
All right, Brad Fanshaw. Love you, brother. Where can they find you? Real quick, where can everybody find you?
Hey, Bradley_Fanshaw on Instagram. Go there, see my photos from the last weekend at Bear Jackson.
Check out the podcast. Check out
ShiftandSteer.com and Man Seeks Adventure.
That's right. And Bond Speed Wheels. The man that
That's
advised
right.
me on my wheels for the Trans Am even. All right, Brad. Thank you, brother.
Thanks, pal.
All right, buddy. Pal. All right, everybody. Thank you for watching. Come on, get happy hour. Did you have fun, Sketch?
I did. These are some really cool stories. And I always like when we talk about the factory days. Those good
Factory
memories
days.
of the factories.
Oh, yeah. Back at the Laugh Factory.
Sunset Strip.
Sketch and I had a show on Thursday nights. She was my DJ up at the top. And many wild nights there. That was crazy.
Yeah.
Good times. And good times will be had again. And good times are had here every Wednesday night. This airs 6 p.m. Facebook. Go to Stevie D and his so-called friends. YouTube. Look at JudiLew. I think it's right there.
I Am JudiLew. That's IAmJudiLew. Or just search "Come On Get Happy Hour" with Stevie D and it'll pop up.
Come on with the C and a apostrophe. MON.
Apostrophe,
Come on,
yeah.
Get happy hour.
Come
Tell your
on.
friends. Like and subscribe. If there's anything you want us to do for a top 10 list, any guests you think you want us to reach out to and stock, we'll do that. All right.
Just drop it in the comments.
All right. Good times, y'all. Good times.
Good
See
times.
you next
indeed.
week.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Take them out, Sketch.
You're in the mix with JudiLew. You're in the mix with JudiLew.
Hey, DJ, bring that back.